After soundly beating the best team in the NHL on the road last night, the Oilers, well, they're back on home ice 24 hours later, hosting the LA Kings for game 81 of the regular season. Come on now, home ice advantage. It's alive. The chances are slim, but it is still alive here for the Edmonton Oilers. Technically a playoff preview tonight, but one side is lacking a lot of top talent. But that doesn't stop the good vibes. That doesn't stop pregaming as we get ready for Oilers Kings. Kings Oilers, hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant. And as always, is a presentation of Bet365, because if you download the app, you know, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary when you're at Bet365. Let's check in first with my co-host this evening, Dan Gallant, Nation Dan, king of hockey fights, OG of Oilers Nation. Daniel, it feels like it's been a minute since you and I have done a show together. How are we doing, my friend? How was your weekend? But how are you doing?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm doing wonderful. I think it's about time that, we come together. We get ready to go for this, like you said, a bit of a playoff preview. We've got this LA Kings number has come up again. We've got our playoff matchup in line. Like you said, we're still masters of our own sea here for a little bit. Maybe we can get that home ice advantage back from the LA Kings, but mostly tonight, just looking for a good showing from this Oilers and, knock on wood, a healthy showing from the Oilers.
That's the only thing I care about right now. Yes. So you're saying there's a chance when it comes to home ice, but I've been saying it for over a week now. Wrap these guys in bubble wrap. Don't let them leave the house until game one of the NHL playoffs. But let's get caught up in the chat. Mackay and Drive, first comment of the day, says, love you, Bordzy. Sorry for being petty earlier. Still ready to donate to the Ben Stelter Foundation and get hyped up on Pregaming AD. Let's go a cup. Yeah, Daniel, what he means by that is Mackay and Dry has been dropping Bordzy bars for the last 5 or so games. The bars have been so good that I said to him last night, are you using ChatGPT for your bars? He got a little offended by that, rightfully so. Because if those are his own bars, he needs to be taking credit for them. And I'm excited for more of Bordzy's bars. I think it's part 6 tonight as well. Austin's in. Nice. Says, fire up the fucking band, brother. Hope we'll never die. Cup yeah. You know the drill. Get the lights up in here. Let's go. Calvin Pickard, the starter in tonight's game, says, let's go, boys. And then Lance is in, says, I hope I can stand next to Bordzy on the parade route. Yaremchuk was too negative today. I don't want to stand next to him anymore. Got some fire me up, Bordzy's. Seeing a little unnecessary hate for our boy Tyler Yaremchuk earlier today. Dan, I was just telling you and Brett and Peyton, chat on ONE was a little weird today. It was a little bit of everything. There was literally everything involved in that chat. Also, if you haven't caught our interview with Mark Messier, it is a live standalone video on YouTube right now. 20 minutes. Talking to one of the greatest Edmonton Oilers of all time. Shout out, Veronica's in. Let's go, Oilers. Let's go. Lance, once again, shitting on his best friend, Tyler, as his photo is still him and Tyler in the pool being best friends, loyal to Oil. Let's go, boys. Depth guys are going to step up again and get the win. A win. The Edmonton Oilers not favorites tonight. Last I checked, plus 125. On Bet365. Levi, don't care what happens tonight. Would be nice to see Hudson show some promise. Just no more injuries, please. I think everybody's agreeing with that one as well. High and Dry, our boys got the dog. Excited to see Hudson. Currently watching his brother. Yeah, that's right. He's probably got that Calder trophy on lock. Veronica, there it is. Was looking for that one. I love you, Connor McDavid. Also my favorite player. Yeah, just some good vibes in here, people. It's pre-gaming. We're only positivity here. We're only dispensing Kool-Aid and drinking the Kool-Aid here. But Daniel, 8 p.m. puck drop at Rogers Place. It's a Monday night. It's a late one. It's also, if it's on Monday, it's on Prime, of course. So, Daniel, question for you. Did you have your coffee? A, did you have your coffee? Did you have your Red Bulls? Probably going to be a late one tonight. And B, you got your Amazon Prime account all ready to go? Do you need my login? What do you need? How we doing? Are we ready to roll?
I will need your Amazon Prime login. I might have to watch the LA Kings broadcast tonight if I cannot get that hookup. But that's just the way. I guess maybe there isn't even an LA Kings broadcast. I got to try and figure out how to be able to watch this game. That just occurred to me. But I understand the chat wanting to go after Tyler a little bit there. But to me, it's I think people are just misreading that Tyler's just trying to temper expectations around Hudson. Is that not the way that we should be reading that? I understand that folks are very hopeful that maybe we have found a diamond in the rough here, but yeah, just definitely sounded like Tyler was trying to temper expectations, not so much saying that Hudson wasn't going to be an everyday NHLer or something like that, just based on tonight's performance alone. I think that's where he was going with that.
He's going to play 2 games, game 81 and 82, and then is not allowed to play in the NHL playoffs. So, yeah, I probably would temper your expectations solely for the fact we're only going to see him in 2 hockey games. Brett's in our own chat. He says NHL Network has a broadcast as well. Justine Zenon says, I will send you mine. I'll send you mine as well, Dan, if you need it. I'm pretty sure Amazon Prime's not like Netflix, where they totally screw you over with that.
Well, as long as Jeffrey Bezos isn't watching the broadcast right now. Otherwise, your account zapped.
Jeffrey Bezos is busy sending Katy Perry. It's almost a Corey Perry there as well. Katy Perry and Gail, whatever the shit her name is, up into space for 11 minutes. Didn't have that one on my bingo card today when I checked Twitter, and I was like, wait, no, it's gotta be a typo. No, Katy Perry went up into orbit for 11 minutes today. Shout out Amazon, bro. I guess
like a firework. She was up in the sky. Good for her. Shout out to Jeffrey. He's busy today. Then we should be okay to share passwords. Just drop it in the chat. Don't actually do that. That was just a joke.
Hey, if you want to throw in your email and your password, your Amazon Prime, I'm sure some people could use it tonight. But hey, either way, I digress. Daniel, tonight's hockey game, like I said, it's technically a playoff preview. We know the Oilers locked in round 1, LA Kings for the 4th consecutive year, but it's not going to really be the real Edmonton Oilers out there tonight. It has been a busy day of housekeeping when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. Head coach Chris Knobloch gave several updates on several players earlier today. There's a lot of it. The one I want to start with, to me, is the most noteworthy, the most notable, and it's Mattias Ekholm, who will miss, according to head coach Chris Knobloch, the entire first round of the NHL playoffs. Shout out to our boy Gene Principe there for the tweet. He also said he's expected to be out a while, was the quotation there as well. And as you see here pointed out from Ryan Rashog, Knobloch says the Ekholm injury was the same one that he was dealing with before. So we all know Ekholm had missed 7 games prior to returning from injury. And even more than that, he had missed 13 of the last 17 before he came back in that game. Once again, not in the room, not an athletic therapist. I don't know. If they say he's good to go and he says he's good to go, I'm going to believe the guy. Also had me thinking maybe they were all in agreement that Ekholm would probably never be 100%. They're just going to see how they could manage it, how it would work. And well, didn't work very well at all. He didn't even have 2 total minutes of time on ice. In his first 3 shifts, he fell twice, and it was just very awkward. Didn't look like a shell of himself, I will say, for one. Mattias Ekholm, he's one of a few Oilers that you can say have injured themselves, returning from injury, maybe rushing back. But once again, that's a conversation for someone much, much smarter than me. This is a shitty deal for the Edmonton Oilers as we gear up for the NHL playoffs. We know everyone in this roster is dealing with an injury right now, but for the most part, and we'll discuss in just a second, for the most part, those injuries all have a timeline and a certain expected return date, you will say, right around game 1, game 2 of the NHL playoffs, but not Mattias Ekholm. For the positive side of things, Dan, I will say this Oilers back end, I think, is the most prepared they've ever been to withstand an injury like this. Tyler, once again, had a good rant earlier today talking about how Jake Wallman has really provided the Oilers with some insurance. Now, he's also hurt right now. Troy Stetcher is as well, because they just keep piling up on the back end. But you think about it, Darnell Nurse, my opinion, has been the best defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers all season. Don't even get me started on Mr. Brett Kulak, who can play anywhere you want him, either side, as big of a workload as you need. I might be wrong for this, but I do still believe in one Evan Bouchard. We saw it last year in the NHL playoffs. I feel like there's still a pretty solid top 4 unit for the Edmonton Oilers when they were to start the playoffs healthy, once again, without Mattias Ekholm. Either way, though, anyway you slice it, Dan, this sucks, the news regarding Ekholm. And once again, all they're saying is round 1. That could include round 2. Thoughts on Ekholm and the severity of the injury we found out today?
Well, I don't like to be a person that's negative. I don't like to dwell on the negatives, but this Ekholm situation is something that is really sitting raw with me. The chat has mentioned it even just now. We still don't really know what the injury is, other than it's the same injury we've seen previously. It's the same injury that held him out of the Four Nations face-off, yet we sent him to the Four Nation face-offs, and he played in a game in the Four Nations face-offs. It's become pretty frustrating when it's now a trend that we've seen between Trent Frederic and Mattias Ekholm. Both guys roll out for a collective 9 minutes, and we are left with question marks about both of them. Like you said, not a trainer. I respect the heck out of the training staff. It's not an easy job to do, but like, I guess, and it's just easy for me to say sitting here, but maybe the line at which we allow these players to say that they're ready to go needs to be collectively raised in that room, where it is just a conversation of, like, even Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl sit out games when it's necessary, and sit out games until they're able to come back and not just be a shell of themselves. And too often I feel like we get caught in this conversation of, well, if it was a playoff game, they'd be good to go. And that's not even good enough anymore for me. You really feel like you have to be able to feel like you're going to consistently get 70 and 80% out of these guys before you're willing to put them out there again and risk the injury. Again, all of this makes me sound like an expert because I'm viewing it with hindsight, and that's great. But it's just starting to become a trend with the team, and especially worst case Ontario happening right here at the end of the season, and it's all just kind of come to a head. The positive is, and like you said, is that we did focus on the defense. As much as there was a segment of the fan base that was calling and clamoring for goaltending to be the focus at the trade deadline, defense was it. The Klingberg misfire, was recovered by the acquisition of a Jake Wallman, and the emergence of a Cam Dineen has me feeling like, in spot duty and the piecemeal that you might have to do to get through this first round, this team is going to be able to weather that storm. Hopefully you can get some semblance of that 75-80% of Mattias Ekholm back on this team, because for me, as much as I'm excited and focused on this first round, I think this team needs to be planning and thinking about rounds 2, 3, and 4 here.
Bigger picture, if you will. And once again, right, hindsight's 2020. Call me Captain Hindsight, but Dan, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if it's a one-time thing here, but when it happened to Leon, happened to Trent Frederic, happened to Ekholm, and there's been this weird cloud of obscurity around Ekholm's injury this whole time where he's even sounded ill. Someone just put in the chat, they were watching the Oilers Plus latest episode, and he sounded like shit back then as well. I remember going, my God, dude, he sounds like me. That's not very good. Soggy Corpse is in. Nice. Shut up, Brett. There it is. Sounded so sick at his Four Nations interview. Soggy Corpse says, this is a good point. Some people are too tough for their own good. Lance, good point. I trust the training staff. They never let us down before. It's just some bad luck. That's right. The last several years, Oilers, for the most part, been pretty healthy, been pretty lucky. It's just all happening now at the worst possible time that it could be going down. And there's another player that's pretty key to the Oilers' success that's going to be out tonight in one, Captain Connor McDavid. Now, no, do not worry. It is just precautionary because the Edmonton Oilers, they're pretty committed to this. Health is the priority over home ice. I think this decision to sit 97 in this hockey game for sure 100% makes that clear. The Oilers said, Nobby, There's no point in making him play 3 games in 4 nights. And with the recent play of Connor McDavid, 9 points in 3 games, don't really think there's any rust on 97 right now. Not really any kinks that he needs to work out in his game. We know that he would be good to go if we needed him to be. He's also found really good chemistry with Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown. But, would have been nice to have him in there, at least for our entertainment's sake. I can use this analogy that Knobloch closed the McDavid door, but Daniel, he opened up the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins window, because you take the good with the bad. No McDavid, but we do get 93 in this hockey game. He hasn't played since April 7th. He was out with an illness, so there shouldn't be any likelihood of re-injuring anything if it was an illness that has kept him out. Once again, was Nobby just lying to me? Who knows? Wouldn't put it past him. Even when I see 93 returning, I know it's you got to get him back into it. Final 2 games, feeling good again. I'm very scared. I say wrap him in bubble wrap, keep him at home. But Daniel, no 97 in this hockey game, but at least for our own entertainment, because we watched the last LA Kings Oilers game. It was a 3-0 snooze fest for the LA Kings. At least 93 will be out there. The entertainment value should be better, but no McDavid, Nuge back.
And I think that should be a positive for Edmonton Oilers fans. It shows that this team has a bit of maturity when it comes to understanding the moment. Yes, we may lose home ice advantage tonight, but the Edmonton Oilers are better off with Connor McDavid resting and not having to play that game 8 of this series, or the game 1B or 1A, I guess it would be, before game 1 of this little series that we're going to have coming up here. I don't mind it. I like that this team is going to have to go out and make some offense for themselves instead of having Connor McDavid be the primary assist on 4 straight goals there in a stretch. It's good for this team to have to keep grinding away and keep going out and getting those points against a team in LA that's going to play good defensive hockey. So looking for a lot of shots from this team tonight, a lot of offensive shots, more so than the defense. And I think that guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be able to rise to the moment, and this team will be competitive tonight.
We've seen what 93 has done without McDavid and Draisaitl in the lineup. He put this team on his back and just piggybacked them to victory in a couple of games. He had a 9-point stretch in 4 games as well. Sergeant Battle, good point. No point in getting home ice if Connor and Leon are 40% in those games. Silver Merlin, I'm pretty happy that they're sitting McDaddy tonight, to be honest. Annie, same thing, good decision. This is a good point as well. LA could target our players even more with the current injury situation and upcoming playoffs. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing if I was the LA Kings, 100%. That's why you keep all the injuries undisclosed and you don't let you or me or anyone know what is ailing the Edmonton Oilers. The number 1 fan says, the Edmonton Condors, final buzzer. This one made me laugh. It feels like fighting for home ice during a preseason game in this hockey game. I mentioned as well, other injury news. Troy Stecher gets also added to the Edmonton Oilers injury report. He got shaken up in yesterday's game against the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know, he took a hit behind the net, fell awkwardly, wasn't believed to be a serious injury. Louis on the broadcast yesterday was like, I think it's an equipment issue. And then no, he never returned. Also, the Oilers were leading handedly in that hockey game. Nobby said about him, should be expected ready to go for game 1 of the NHL playoffs. Same thing could be the situation for Jake Wallman. Still listed as day-to-day. Nobby's quote with him was, expect him to play game 1. But the Edmonton Oilers back end is banged up, which we already had Camden Ian recalled from the Bakersfield Condors. And Daniel, it's the return of Josh Brown, the 3-year deal man, the 3-year deal AHL man, who now will be playing in his 9th NHL game this season. He's averaged 11.29. He actually has 1 assist in his 8 appearances so far with the big club. Once again, technically playoff preview, but this team on the back end, basically everywhere, incredibly banged up. Something tells me the Oilers, they're going to be playing their big 4 of Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard, Brett Kulak with, why am I blanking on the one name? Ty Emerson. Thank you very much, Brett. The Tattoo Boys, really the only thing that I'm watching for in this hockey game, if we are going to be specific. The other one, I mean, if you have been online at all today with Oilers Nation, a lot of the discussion has involved around 1 Quinn Hudson, who just signed a 2-year ELC with the Edmonton Oilers over the past weekend. The Oilers, Stan Bowman, he's been wheeling and dealing with college free agents, international free agents as well. He's been making a lot of moves to restock the cupboards here, and Hudson expected to make his debut. Just finished his 3rd season at Boston University. There you see it on your screen. 23 goals, 27 assists in 37 regular season games. We touched on it. Not eligible for the playoffs, and will actually burn a year of his ELC by playing in tonight's game, which has been some discussion online of why would you do that and whatnot. From what I've heard and what I've read, that this clearly isn't an issue for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's might even be a reason why he chose the Edmonton Oilers in the first place. This is a part of negotiations. It's the art of the deal, if you will, and sure, you burn a year of entry-level status, whatever, but he's essentially a free asset. Like I just said, you're just restocking the cupboards without having to give anything up to do so. Jason Gregor reported he expects him to play in the AHL for most of next season. I'll be honest, I don't totally know a ton about the guy. I know more about his brother over in Montreal as well. There's some more notes here from Jason Gregor. Expect him to start next year. Smart player who continues to improve and gives the Oilers a younger forward prospect because he is 23 years old. Anyway, here you take it. Dan, all I got, this is good, this is positive. Attaboy, Stan Bowman.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, and Sergeant Battle and a couple other commenters have been saying it, as the AHL Condors are struggling to have warm bodies themselves right now. So going out and finding Hudson where he can just slide into this NHL roster and hopefully not look too much out of place is an advantage for this team. And like you said, might be a reason why he chose the team, because it does just hurry him along in that process that some NCAA players are, I'm sure, not that great or not that stoked to have to sit around and wait until they're 26 and 27 to be able to get out of their first entry-level contracts. So yeah, it's just, I think, really just a savvy financial kind of decision for this team. Doesn't really affect us at all. If he's nothing, he's gone in 2 years instead of 3. So only upside, and somebody that, like you said, wasn't really on my radar at all, and just a plus sign for us as a body that can play in the game tonight, and we don't have to affect our AHL numbers any more than they already are.
To me, it's just the most win-win thing I've ever heard. This dude gets to sign with a good team, gets to burn a year. The Edmonton Oilers stock the cupboards. Everybody done good. Gold star Stan Bowman. Let's go now to our need-to-know information courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name, made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size. You can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. And for more information to get your jerky on, head to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So as we all know, it will be the Oilers and Kings in round 1 of the NHL playoffs for the 4th consecutive season. The only question, who will get home ice? So for the Edmonton Oilers to get the 2 seed, they must beat the LA Kings in regulation tonight, and then they must beat the San Jose Sharks on Wednesday as well. But they would also need some help from the out-of-town scoreboard. So the LA Kings have 3 more games remaining this season. Thank you, Brett. The LA Kings take on the Oilers tonight, Seattle Kraken, and the Calgary Flames. So the Oilers would need LA to lose all 3 of these hockey games. They hold serve while beating the Kings in regulation tonight. They would then get the 2 seed. So the max points the Oilers can reach is 103. Well, the LA Kings are currently at 101. And the LA Kings also own the tiebreaker between these 2 squads. They have 41 regulation wins compared to the Edmonton Oilers' 35 regulation wins. There's a look at the regular season standings right now in the Western Conference. The Wild and Blues, only teams yet to technically clinch. Flames still technically alive here as they are battling. Also, I was not aware of this till right before the show. The Avalanche have already finished their season, and it's Monday. That That doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't seem fair to me that they get to rest their bodies for what would kind of be, 5 days? Either way, I digress. Whatever. Schedule makers have a tough job. The Oilers, this is game 81. Wednesday's game 82 for an 8:30 p.m. on the road game in San Jose. They make these pre and posts at the end of the year. They've just been, there was not a ton of really late games during the beginning of the year or the middle. They have just stacked them here at the end of the season. Once again, I'm not bitching. I'm going to bring the energy. We're going to bring the vibes because the tattoo bet will be coming down to the wire in game 82. The Oilers in LA. Well, the Oilers won 1-1 this season. They lost 4-3 in OT back in December. There you see the top one on your screen. Then they responded 1-0 win at home a few weeks later. And then the last one, LA kind of smoked the Oilers. I mean, maybe not even smoked. That game was boring as shit. It was a Saturday afternoon game. No Connor, no Leon. Meh, whatever. I don't even care. Elliot Friedman. So, Brett, if you want to pull this tweet up, because this is need to know information, and I joked that Elliot Friedman just kind of did my job for me earlier today with this one. So this is as bare bones as you can do it. Ekholm will not play the first round. No exact timeline. Wallman day to day, expecting to play game 1. Hyman McDavid, not tonight because they are playing it extremely safely. I like that. Continue that. Leon Draisaitl's questionable for Wednesday, but definitely expected in game 1 of the playoffs. Trent Frederick, not playing the last 2 games. Hopeful / question mark for game 1. That doesn't really fill me with confidence. Evander Kane looking good. Up to the medical staff to clear him. I got some more on that later in the Oilers lineup. Troy Stetcher, day-to-day. Anticipate him playing in game 1. Nugent Hopkins, he's back in the lineup tonight. Josh Brown called up. Quinn Hudson to make his NHL debut. Take a breath, Bordzy, reset, and then Calvin Pickard. He's expected to get the start in this one. Stuart Skinner returned to the crease yesterday. Was pretty solid against the best team in the NHL. Stopped 17 of 18, but back-to-back setting, Calvin Pickard was always going to get this one. LA Kings side of need to know information. 46, 24, and 9. 31, 5, and 4 on the road, but 15, 19, and 2 on the road. This game being played in Edmonton. There you get a look at the head-to-head tail of the tape numbers between these two teams. So the Kings this year, I'll say once again, I've said up, I believe I did it 2 weeks ago. They're mid offensively. They're incredibly awesome defensively. They rank second in the NHL in goals against per game. They also rank second in shots allowed per game. They're 6th on the PK in the whole league. But offensively, 15th in goals per game, 19th in shots. And that power play, 17.1%, is 28th in the National Hockey League. LA right now, riding a 2-game win streak. They have wins in 6 of their last 7. They're also more rested than the Edmonton Oilers. Their last game was Saturday. They beat the Colorado Avalanche by a score of 5-4. Injury news, Drew Doughty, I believe, is expected to be back in this hockey game. He hadn't played since the last Oilers-King matchup. Joel Edmondson expected to remain out. Same with Tanner Jeannot, who has an undisclosed injury. And then finally, we're expecting Darcy Kemper to be the starting goaltender for these LA Kings. Yep, he's confirmed. 30-11-7 record, 2.05 goals against on the season. I repeat, 2.05 goals against. That's nuts with a .920 save percentage. Let's go now. Sherwood Ford Giant storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant. I'm on the Giant for a reason. They've got their Nation Valet service going down all the time. Tyler just used it for the Nation truck. I'm actually pretty sure there's me a nice, cool behind-the-scenes video of how that whole situation works, where drives it into work in the morning. Sherwood Ford comes, picks it up. I believe Eli went in the truck, watched them service it, caught some footage, and then bang, they drive it right back to the office. Tyler Remchuk, not even done his work day. Bang, it's incredibly efficient. It's incredibly awesome. And that's why they're the Giant for a reason. Storyline for me, Dan. Sure, home ice advantage. Sure, you're saying there's a chance. It's not likely. I'm still going to believe because, as I've said earlier, hope will never die, especially at this company. But, I mean, straight up, my storyline is stay healthy. Please, for the love of God, do not get hurt. Do not let the LA Kings get under your skin. If you're a depth player, winger, if you're anyone on the squad out there tonight, I don't need any extracurriculars. I don't need anything. Just get in and get out, hopefully safely. And there we go. Once again, like my key to victory. These games we know can be incredibly low event. That's just the style of hockey the LA Kings play. That's one they're content to play with. And also, once they get a lead, it's very sit back on their heels. It's not the 1-3-1 of yesteryear, but it is still kind of equally as boring. And stay healthy, Dan. That's my storyline. What about you?
I think that this team and this squad tonight, this on the Oilers side, can play a good defensive game against this LA Kings. Kind of set the tone going into the playoffs here, where I know that they're expecting the high power offense, and we can give that to them. We just have a lot of it resting tonight out of an extraordinary abundance of caution, which again we like. We love to see that. But yeah, definitely would like to see I think some more defensive support. The working on the giveaways. Do not give these LA Kings those opportunistic chances, and make them go and earn their own offense. Like you said, not a very offensively gifted squad by any means, and I think you can expose them if you just play good defensive hockey. Give them a little dose of their own medicine, and again, like you said, stay healthy.
Bubble wrap, ice every intermission, everything. Make sure you're feeling good about it. Now, so we are still 29 minutes away, I guess, not even from puck drop. I think puck drop is supposed to be like 8:10, 8:11, 8:12, something like that. We don't fully know what the line combos are going to be. We'll find out in just a couple minutes when they hit the ice, but we do know that the Oilers will be going with 11 forwards in this hockey game. Bert, if you want to pull up, so there's an 11. This is from Daily Faceoff, which is just kind of a DFO projected lineup. Once again, nothing is set in stone, but we could see the return of the Pods, Nuge, and Victor Arvidsson line, a line that worked very well when Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl were out of the lineup. Then the other ones, Jeff Skinner, Rico, Brownie. Connor McDavid has been lights out in that position next to Skinner and Brown. I'm curious if they'd put Nuge there or put Rico there. If it was me, I'd probably put Nuge with Pods and Arvy just because it's more proven. They've had way more experience together. And while I love Nuge, he's not 97, so it might not mesh the same as it did with Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown. But other than that, they're playing 11 forwards in game 81 of the season, Dan. It's not good. They're limping their way to the regular season or to the NHL playoffs. But regardless of this, injury epidemic, whatever the hell you want to call it, the Edmonton Oilers in their last 8 games are actually 6-2. They've actually, like you kind of mentioned, been showing some defense here. They've been very good on the defensive side of the puck. Couple numbers here, courtesy of our friend Jason Greger. In those 8 games, they've only allowed 17 goals against a goalie. One of them is an empty net, so you could say 18. They're allowing 25.4 shots against per game, which is pretty damn good. And then the other part, without no 97-29. Now 97 was back for the last couple of games, but in their last 11, Leon's played 4, Connor McDavid has played 3, yet the team is 7-4 in that stretch, and they have been able to tread water offensively. Last 11 games, Boosh, 13 points. Adam Henrique shockingly has 9 points in those 11 games because he has been starting to heat up a little bit. A quiet 2-point game here, 1 goal here, 2 points there. Darnell Nurse has been chipping in. We've seen Connor Brown look like a completely different hockey player, if we're completely being honest. Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson. It's not the 30-40 goals we predicted in the summer, but it's starting to look pretty good here and pretty consistent. Once again, I am not going to read into a lot of this game if the Oilers lose, if they get smoked, whatever. But the depth boys have shown us time and time again lately that they are capable of stepping up. And then that's all they've been doing lately. Once again, the blessing in disguise moniker. I don't really know about that one, but either way, Oilers depth guys, they've been stepping up big, and they will have to do that again tonight with only 11 forwards.
Well, initially with the loss of both Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl out of the lineup, I really felt like the entire offensive forward group was just looked like it was lost. It had no identity to it. There was definitely nobody that was willing to step up as kind of that game breaker and show that finish. They had a lot of flights in and around the net, but we're getting no real offensive chances from it. But they're starting to kind of come around. A guy like Victor Arvidsson is somebody that I feel like you can kind of follow his trajectory from being a guy that was frankly looking for too many penalties throughout the early part of the season and just wasn't playing offense. He's a guy that's talented enough to be on these top two lines, and he's starting to show that skill. Vasily Podkolzin is doing the same thing. We're just starting to see that effort start to come to fruition, and they're going towards the net, like you said. And yes, we have to admit that Connor McDavid is always going to be the straw that is going to stir the drink of this offense. And when he was on and back in this lineup, the offense was funneling through him. But it is a credit to these depth players, as we say, the Jeff Skinners, the Vasily Podkolzins of the world, to be able to step up in this time and Nugent Hopkins is another example of somebody that came alive in that little stretch without 97 and 29. And yeah, I really do think that this team is going to continue to show that gelling and that ability to overcome the adversity that is the injuries and the healthy scratches that we're doing here.
A lot of guys have been asked to step up and play different roles, handle bigger workloads. And when 97-29 return, those guys be sent back down the lineup, and you're going to have less opportunity, but you might have the confidence brewing from when you were getting all those touches, when you were getting power play minutes and power play opportunities. And hopefully you just continue to build off it as we roll into the NHL playoffs. The other guy, Connor Brown, he's been so red hot lately. And last year, wouldn't say red hot at the end of the season because he only scored 4 goals in 71 games, but it was similar. He started to look really good at the end of the year, and then we got in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the finals, where Connor Brown was integral to the Edmonton Oilers. When you look at the back end tonight, Bert, if you want to pull that one up as well for me here, Slim Pickens, Darnell with Bush, Kulak with MB, Cam Dineen with Josh Brown. But there are 2 guys that are still standing that are very important to me and my producer, Bert. If you are back there and you want to hop on, I would never say no to your handsome face. Also, horns down for wearing the Longhorns jersey right now. That is a load of bullshit. But Bert, this is why you invented Tattoo Bet. We got 2 games left to go. Something tells me Kulak and Emby might be playing some considerable minutes in this one tonight because it's Dineen and Josh Brown on the third pairing. Do we have the updated leaderboard with us right here?
We sure
because
do.
Brett Kulak 5 up with 2 hockey games to go. Bert, how we feeling?
Not good. It's funny because I am every game I'm like more and more hopeful that we're going to catch up. And now I sit here and realize that there are 2 games left and need to make up 5 blocked shots. So not good. Not good at all. I literally looked at Taylor today and said, I think I'm going to be getting a tattoo on Sunday. So this is going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. Once again, keep it locked on our socials. Once again, the NHL playoff schedule. But the Oilers on the road could be game 1 at a little establishment known as Greta. You might be able to get to watch Brett or I get tattooed live on the air in person. Bert, I love you. I'm not loving Ty Emerson right now. I mean, I still do, but I just prefer no one should be blocking shots tonight because you could get injured by doing that. So let's just call it right now. Let's call it a wash. Bang. Kulak's in the lead. We're done with that tattoo artist. Once again, later tonight on ONAD, I think Bert and I will present some tattoo ideas that we've cooked up. And then, Bert, we got to pick our tattoo artist of who we want to do it. DM's always open. I've talked to quite a few people who've expressed some interest to do it, but I want to be a diehard Oilers fan, local guy. Just needs some loving on social media because I feel like that'd be some pretty good exposure for a local tattoo artist, right, Bert?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, absolutely. And again, most likely going to be happening live on air. I was thinking about this laying in bed. I think we're going to have to bring an extra camera so we can have like a live tattoo camera as it's going on. Because here's the thing. I have committed to being the fact that I am going to be getting tattooed. It's just a matter of whether or not you are going to be joining me, because it's either going to be a tie, because Jake Wallman isn't going to be playing in these next 2 games. I'm telling you, he's not going to be playing. So there goes that dream. It's either going to be a tie or it's just going to be me. There's no outrate, unless, like, God forbid, there's a lightning strike that takes out Brett Kulak. There's no way. Yeah, you have the wood in front of you. I can't knock on anything. God forbid. I am fully committed to getting the tattoo. And you know what? I think I have some pretty good tattoo ideas.
Yeah, I see some people in here talking about the solidarity tattoo, which I will answer that one after game 82, because the Wallman thing got me in trouble because I agreed to that on the air. Then the moment we ended the show, I went, why the fuck did you say yes to that? That was a really bad idea, Bordzy. But Lance says, let's all get matching tattoos in solidarity. And then Final Buzzer said, get John Klingberg's jersey tattooed on your chest.
Little one right there.
You go, is that Jack Campbell or is that John Klingberg? Either way, I don't want that on my skin. I don't even want that in my memories anymore.
I already have a Jack Campbell Texas Stars jersey, so we could just put Oilers colors on the number 36 and we'd be set.
Shell says get Tyler's face. I would much rather get your face, Brett, which we have discussed, but once again, I don't know if that's something I want to do. Either way, let's move along now. Let's go to our starting goaltender report, brought to you by Sherwood, Power Sports, and Marine. It's boat season. It's outdoor season. Come on, it's Sherwood Power Sports and Marine season. They'll get you hooked up with everything you need. Boats, quads, ATVs, scoots, all the funnest stuff you could ever imagine. As people spring, it's sprung. There's still light outside right now, so shout out that you could be riding your quad right now. You could be dirt biking. You're not, because pregame with Bordzy's on, and I love and appreciate you, but you could do that if you went to Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. This hockey game, it will be Calvin Pickard against one Darcy Kemper. So Picks gets to start tonight. I mentioned because Stuart Skinner played yesterday, Daniel, against the Winnipeg Jets. A lot of discussion, the game 1 starter, blah, blah, blah. Kind of does feel like, from what I'm hearing from the media members around the team, I will say, it kind of feels like Stuart Skinner's got the inside track on this one. But Dan, I haven't talked to you in days about this, maybe even not a week. Where are you at with the Edmonton Oilers goaltending situation? If game 1 was tonight, right now, in 18 minutes, which Edmonton Oilers goaltender would you want starting game 1?
Well, I really appreciate that they gave us a Stuart Skinner start to be able to base this off of. And after seeing the performance out of him last night, I am still firmly in that Stuart Skinner is our number 1 starter camp right now. I'm still happy with Calvin Pickard, who I see is in the chat before the game, which is awesome. I'm still happy that he's our backup. I think that he is one of the best true backups in the league still remaining. But yeah, I'm going to Stuart Skinner. I know the history is tough. I know that his stats have been tough this year, but as much as it was a bad news scenario with the concussion or the possible concussion there that he had to suffer through, getting him off the ice for a couple weeks and just having the opportunity to be able to reset, hopefully might have been the best thing for him. And I really do think that he is the starting goaltender for this team that is going to see them through their first cup year in a few years.
Yeah, the joke I made, and don't want to be distasteful, but Stuart Skinner, just a factory reset when Mikko Rantanen just decided to hit him square in the head. But who knows? I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid of anything here. I also think it should be, I think Stuart Skinner, he's your starter. And the point I made yesterday, I feel like it's much easier to go to Calvin Pickard if Stu falters than it would be the reverse. I feel like if Stu wasn't the starter, he might be more susceptible to a couple more head games. The other guy, Darcy Kemper, incredibly good hockey player this season. I think he's the LA Kings MVP. He's also looking for a bounce-back performance. He got the win Saturday against the Avalanche, but he allowed 4 goals on 26 shots. And this is a stat that I didn't even believe, so I had to go look it up. That 4 goals was the most he's allowed in a start since March 3rd. Get this. He went 15 straight hockey games without allowing more than 2 goals in a game. So maybe we're getting him at the right time. Maybe he's due again for another solid performance. Either way, with the Oilers lineup looking the way it does, the lack of firepower, If I was a bang man, I'd probably bet on a Darcy Kemper bounce back performance. But Dan, he's been pretty good. Also, Quinn Hudson taking his rookie lap alone right now. That's always awesome.
You love to see it. I love to see the chat there is mentioning throwing down an anytime goal scorer on Hudson. Might be interesting. But yeah, I mean, this sorry, I'm blanking on my thought there. Oh yeah, we're talking about the Habs and the Chicago Blackhawks game. But
Quinn Hudson to score goals plus 450. Let's ride.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. It's an interesting time. Hey, I just think that I'm blanking. Here.
Don't worry. Why don't we just move along? Darcy Kemper, very good.
Oh, there it is. Yes. Darcy Kemper, and I think that's a credit to the LA Kings. I appreciate you, Bordzy. I got distracted on a different thought train, but for me, with the LA Kings, their style is just so smothering and it's so all encompassing that it does tend to make a guy like Darcy Kemper, I think, look a little bit superhuman. So I really do think that this team tonight, and they're going to struggle or going to not have that top end talent. I think that they just need to be effectively shooting and getting that puck on the net, and you should see some success there. I just think that this LA Kings team is so good at limiting their opportunities against that the Oilers need to be to press to get that offense going tonight.
Pedal meet metal. Let's go, baby. Also, just got confirmation of the Edmonton Oilers lineup in this hockey game. So, top line goes as follows: Jeff Skinner, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor Brown. So, Nuge stepping into that Connor McDavid role. Second line, Vasily Podkolzin, Matthias Janmark with Victor Arvidsson. Top six centerman, Matthias Janmark. We have literally gone everywhere this year with Janmark. Is this the time to bet on a Janmark anytime goal? Probably not. But if it was ever going to happen, this one might be the situation. Third line, Corey Perry on the left wing with Adam Henrique and Quinn Hudson. And then your fourth line is just Max Jones with Kasperi Kapanen, because remember, the Oilers rocking 11 forwards. Nurse with Bush, Brett Kulak with Josh Brown, Cam Dineen with Ty Emberson. Makes me feel good about the tattoo bet. Doesn't make me feel good about actually winning the hockey game if Josh Brown's going to be playing top 4 defensive minutes for the Oilers. But either way, I digress. Dan, we got to go quick here, but thoughts? Matthias Janmark, top 6 Matthias Janmark, because of course.
Well, yes. And I mean, I've seen the chat mention it a few times. Derek Ryan was sent down this morning. I believe that was a cap move by the team. So pretty frustrating that we are in the end games here and have to make moves like that to be able to get through this game. But you know what? Matthias Janmark, he'll be fine on that second line. Put him down as your anytime goal scorer. He'll do just fine for us.
I'm looking at Janmark anytime goal.
There's no way his number
100. Oh, it was plus 1,400 the last time I looked. Okay, don't do that. You're not getting proper value.
That is a crazy move. Good for them.
Once again, though, hey, who knows? Peyton, I can see our intern. He's in our private chat going, yes, Dan. Let's go, Janmark, blah, blah, blah. Let's go now to the away lineup brought to you by Greta Bar. Yag, people, playoffs are right around the corner, which means we're going to be spending a lot of time together downtown Edmonton. And what better place to do it than Greta Bar, arcade, bar, street food. They've just done $100,000 in renovations before the playoffs. They are ready. I am ready. We're going to have parties, so keep it locked on the Oilers Nation socials. We'll let you know when we're partying, where we're partying is always going to be Greta, because come on now, Dan, you know it. That place, pretty fun vibes during the NHL playoffs. If you couldn't be at Rogers Place, I swear by that Greta was the second best vibe you could be at, because it was electric in there. I'm running up on the bar. I'm running on chairs. I'm throwing shit left, right, and center. Oh, I can't wait to go back and do it again. But Bert, hit it for me here. The projected LA Kings lineup this evening: Andrei Kuzmenko, who has fit in like a glove with Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe. Second line, Kevin Fiala with Quinton Byfield and Alex Laferriere. Warren Fogle, I miss you. I love you. But hey, it is what it is. Philip Deneau centers that line with Trevor Moore. Jeff Malott, younger brother of Mike Malott, who had his first NHL goal taken off the board when I don't know if it was Sam Elenius who was offsides. I think it was. But either way, that was a nasty first goal for the Malott brother to then not be a nasty first ever goal. Felt bad for him in that one. Rounding out the fourth line is Alex Turcotte. Then the deep pairings, as we see here, my boy Bert hits it. Mikey Anderson, once again, the hatred fuels me for one. Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty, Vlad Gavrikov with Jordan Spence, Jacob Movar with Brant Clark. One thing, you look at that top line, it just makes me angry, but Andrei Kuzmenko has fit in so well with Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe. He's been putting up points. He's not a point per game player since he's been up there, but he is very, very close. Kevin Fiala, we know him. He loves scoring goals. Quentin Byfield, to me, just a dude I'm perpetually nervous about because he's got the hands, he's got the size, he's still incredibly young, he's got major potential. And I don't know if anyone in the chat, let me know if you saw that goal that Quentin Byfield scored like a week ago where he was also holding the defenseman's stick, whatever. But he knocked the puck out of the air, knocked it over to him on the side with one hand there, and then did it again with another hand. It was awesome. It looked like General Grievous in Star Wars, if you know what I'm talking about there. Daniel named some threats there offensively, but if you had to pick one tonight, who is your player to watch from the LA Kings?
Well, it's such a good thick lineup. There's no superstar there. I'm always forever going to be one that's going to watch Philip Deneau anytime he's on the ice. He's going to be a good defensive blanket, but he's also just that pest that is going to be a person that's going to drag our guys into those scrums, like you said, that we need to avoid after the whistle kind of thing. For me, yeah, I think I'm looking at that third line with this LA team. It really isn't. It isn't so much about the totality of worrying about one player or one line. It is just the waves and waves that they come at with you. But where I'm more excited and where I don't know, like 2 years ago, even looking at that defensive pairing of Mikey Anderson and Drew Doughty, I think I would have had a little bit more fear in my heart. Just feel like their defense is not what it used to be, and it certainly doesn't make me fearful. I know that I'm sure that they feel the same way looking at our defensive core, but I think I might take our defensive core even as it is right now over that defensive pairings that they have there in LA.
Kind of echoing Gina's comment here, but once again, who would be scared of a man named Mikey that willingly does it? Because once again, I'm saying, imagine being a grown man named Mikey. Tammy, yeah, Mikey is a no from me. Yeah, I could agree with that. For me, my player to watch, it's Andrei Kuzmenko. Guy has 5 points in his last 2 games, I believe. He's just on fire. He scares me. I have this weird feeling about Kuzmenko where he's not a former Oiler, but I wanted him to be and was really like emotionally thought he was going to be. I don't know what it is, but either way, for some reason, he's fit in very, very well with these LA Kings. Remind you that he did score, 39 or 40 goals his first season in the NHL. But Daniel, let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365, because whatever the moment, you know it, it's never ordinary. Where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat-trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. They're an official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code NATION to get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. All right. Give it to me here. It hasn't been going great for Bordzy's Bankroll lately, if I'm being completely honest and transparent. It's also tough when I don't even know what version of the Edmonton Oilers is going to be on the ice night in, night out. But I did say 6-2-0 in their last 8 games. Tonight, I'm rolling with Calvin Pickard over 23.5 saves. That's just an even -110. Part of my thinking in this game is not that the Kings, once again, made offensive numbers. They don't shoot a ton of pucks. I have my doubts about the Oilers' chances in this hockey game. I could see the ice being tilted at points. I also believe in my pal Cal. So shout out Picks. Need 24 saves from him. The next one, Evan Bouchard, over 2.5 shots on goal. When I look at this roster and I see the 11 forwards, something tells me Evan Bouchard might have to be the one who's providing some offense. I could see the puck on his stick a little bit more. Didn't want to touch anything power play wise because the Kings are a top 10 PK team in the NHL this season. But the Boosh bomb, throw it on net. Let's see what happens. And then finally, a huge 1+ point, currently minus 170. I think it was him and Harvey, the best odds to get points for the it's Boosh minus 190, Nuge minus 170. All three of these bets, Dan, are minus. They're all minus 110, 115, and 170 because Bordzy is trying to see one go through the hoop tonight. But which of these three bets do you like the most? Which one are you most confident in?
Well, I'm a very small unit dabbler, and recently what I've been doing is going and looking at the shots. I think that's where sportsbooks get a little confused, just like we do with the lineup changes that have been going on. And I have actually teased up the Bouchard shot total to even 3. For his, or sorry, 4, I apologize, for his shot total tonight. So I like the shots over 2.5 shots for Bouchard there.
Lance Kane says, looking like a parlay. That would be a plus 450 parlay on Bet365. Already locked that one in. And like you just said there, Dan, you're doing little bets. We don't unit shame here at Oilers Nation, especially on Pregaming or After Dark. We do not unit shame. A win is a win is a win. Even if you're putting 5 cents down, I don't care. Be proud of your wins. Scream from the mountaintop that you got some wins. Also, reminder, shout out our intern Peyton because he's been making little betting preview videos on our YouTube. Tune into those. He's always got some good stats in there, some good information. I asked him for his picks, so I'm trying to get them in the private chat right now. Daniel, final question I've got for you. Actually, first, before we do anything, let me give some love to Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day. Perfect for every day of the week. They are just delicious on a beautiful spring day. Had a couple yesterday, Saturday. Not gonna lie to you, got a little after it. There was Masters, there was UFC, there was a little bit of everything, and I had quite a couple Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lagers. They go down smooth. They are delicious. And as Tyler said on O&E today, you know what? The playoffs are going to be long. The playoffs are going to be stressful. Head down to Odd Company, either Richie or downtown. Don't mess around. Buy a flat of these, okay? You want to be stocked up for the NHL playoffs with these beautiful cans, and you can get some of those. Also, Peyton's bets. Adrian Kempe over 2.5 shots, which is a good bet, but I would never bet on an LA Kings player. This is game 81. I'm not going to start now. He also has Bush over 2.5 shots. Shout out, Peyton. Let's go. High five. And Connor Brown, 1+ points. Daniel, got to get to my super chats in one moment, but let me ask you, score prediction, anytime goal scorer. What are you feeling? Rub the crystal ball. What's happening tonight?
My anytime goal scorer will be Victor Arvidsson tonight, and I am going to say it's a 3-2 LA Kings win in overtime.
Yeah, that seems, it even seems like wishful thinking with the amount of salary cap. Me and Brett were trying to do the math pre-game here of how much money the Oilers have on that are out that's in the press box tonight. Because if you look at that, right, so on combined on that screen, Evander Kane makes 5 something. Regula, I don't even know. Klingberg's 1 point something. Ekholm's 6. Frederick's only getting paid $500,000. Draisaitl gets 8. Zach Hyman gets 5 something. Wallman gets 4. Troy Stetcher gets 1. Connor McDavid gets 12. Either way, couldn't do the math, but it is right around $40 million that's up in the press box for this hockey game. So, going to be in tough tonight. I'm going to say, everything I just said, I'm still going to go back on it. The Oilers win 4-2. It's going to be boring as hell. It's going to be an empty net goal at the very end of the game. Bet on your Matthias Janmark anytime goals, because if it's ever going to happen, it'll happen in this one. Finally, 2 things. Want to give a shout out to Oodle Noodle, because they are still celebrating their 20th birthday. The platinum pairing is still live right now at Oodle Noodle. Big flavor, big value, huge value. $20 for 2 signature boxes and 2 spring rolls. That's insane. Also, download the Oodle Noodle app. Get the customer loyalty rewards points, 1,500 of them when you sign up. That's $15 in real value. And then finally, we got super chats. Come on now. I would never forget about them. Reminder, all your super chats in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. Tammy, my queen, is in, says $10. Mercury is in Gatorade or something. Stick taps, hearts for Ben always. Yeah, hey, I'll take anything. Mackay and Dry's in $6.99. Bordzy Bars, part 7. It's Mackay and Dry, not AI. Trust me, I won't lie. Steal that cup like it's marble rye. And I know Dan's a Seinfeld guy. Hope will never die. Holy shit, clap that up.
Wow.
Mackay and Dry, I am also a massive Seinfeld guy. That's
so good.
That's comment of the day. That could be comment of the night. I can't wait for Bordzy's Bars part 8. I guess when we go down later. Shout out that Seinfeld reference. Dan, did you like that?
I love that. I love a good marble rye. Solves a lot of problems in these days.
When they get the fishing rod out the window and he's trying to pull it back.
Oh, I was thinking of the other cookie. I was thinking of the cookie. Sorry. That's what solves problems. The 2-colored cookie.
The black and white cookie together at last. Whatever. God, I love Seinfeld. Also, High and Dry. Are you a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy? Please let me know. But I digress. We're already a minute over. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Please throw down your courtesy like on your way out. And then a reminder, make sure you subscribe to the ON YouTube because people, it's playoffs coming up. We're going to have all kinds of awesome playoff coverage as we hopefully enter another stretch run for the Edmonton Oilers, and keep it locked on our socials because game 1 of the playoffs, we're going to be doing, I think we said it earlier today, we're talking about doing a super stream, maybe even an 8-hour stream on Sunday or whatever the first game is. All day content, going to be ridiculous stuff. Get joined by awesome guests, lead you right into pre-gaming, which could be going down at Greta Bar Yeg. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Over and out. We'll talk right here after the game. Good luck.